Imagine you are the most dangerous thing alive. You have claws that can tear through bone, jaws that can crush a skull in one bite. You have never lost a fight in your life. And right now, across the clearing, you see something just like you. Another predator. Just as big, just as armed, just as dangerous. And you do the one thing nobody expects. You turn around, and you walk away. This happens every single day in nature. Lions see hyenas and back off. Tigers vanish the moment they smell another tiger. Wolves stop dead in their tracks and go quiet. The most terrifying animals on the planet spend their whole lives avoiding each other. Not because they are scared, not because they are weak, because something in their biology figured out a secret. A secret so powerful it literally shapes every interaction between every apex predator on Earth. And here is the part that should unsettle you. That same secret is running inside your own brain right now. Stay until the end, because the last section will change how you see every conflict in your own life. Let's start with the obvious question. Why don't apex predators just fight? They are built for it. They are the strongest, fastest, most lethal things in their ecosystems. If two lions clash, one of them should win. Simple, right? That's what most people assume. But that assumption is completely wrong. And the reason it's wrong comes down to one cold, brutal calculation. Think about what a claw actually costs. Not in money, in survival. A lion in the wild has maybe 10 to 15 years of life. Every hunt depends on its body working perfectly. Its legs need to be fast. Its eyes need to be sharp. Its jaw needs to close with full force. Now imagine that lion gets into a serious fight with another lion. Even if it wins, it might walk away with a torn shoulder, a gashed eye, a broken rib. None of those things heal the way they do in a hospital. There are no antibiotics in the Serengeti. A wound that seems small on day 1 can become infected by day 3. By week 2, the lion can't run at full speed. And a predator that can't run at full speed doesn't eat. A predator that doesn't eat is dead within weeks. This is the brutal math behind every apex predator on Earth. Winning a fight can kill you just as easily as losing one. Scientists call this the cost-benefit framework of aggression, and nature figured it out millions of years before humans wrote it down. But here's what's fascinating. This calculation didn't just produce caution, it produced something far more sophisticated. It produced performance. Walk through any national park in East Africa and you will see it constantly. Two male lions approaching the same waterhole. They don't charge each other. They don't even make direct eye contact immediately. They start performing. One puffs out his mane, slows his walk, lifts his head to full height. The other watches, measures, calculates, and if the math doesn't look good, one of them just changes direction, walks to a different part of the river, finds a different spot to drink, no blood, no injury, no energy wasted. Biologists have studied this behavior across dozens of apex species. The pattern is the same everywhere. Wolves use howling and scent marking to broadcast exactly how large and healthy their pack is before any rival wolf comes close. It's a way of saying, you don't want this fight, without ever throwing a punch. Tigers drag their scent across trees and rocks in a precise network across their territory. Every passing tiger reads that scent like a full profile. Age, size, health, how recently they were here, and they adjust their route accordingly. The confrontation is over before it begins. But here's what's even more interesting. What happens when the signals fail? When two apex predators of genuinely matched size and strength actually end up face to face. Researchers studying bear encounters in North America documented something remarkable. When two large male grizzlies meet with no clear size advantage, the encounter usually becomes a contest of patience. One bear stands, the other stands. They both huff. They both bluff. They take slow, deliberate steps. Sometimes this lasts over an hour, but actual physical contact, claws to skin fighting, happens in a small fraction of encounters. Because both animals are running the same calculation simultaneously. The longer the standoff goes, the more both of them realize they are matched, and a matched fight is the most dangerous fight of all. This mirrors something you might recognize from your own life. Think about the last time you were about to argue with someone who seemed just as confident as you. Something in your brain ran a quiet, invisible calculation. Is this worth it? What do I risk? What do I gain? You didn't do it consciously, your brain did it for you. Because your brain is running the exact same ancient software. Scientists gave this idea a formal name in the 1970s: evolutionary game theory. Biologists John Maynard Smith and George Price worked out a mathematical model in 1973. They called one strategy hawk and the other strategy dove. Hawk fights every time. Dove always backs down. At first glance, hawk sounds like it should dominate. But when you run the numbers across an entire population, hawk destroys itself. Because every time two hawks meet, one of them gets seriously injured. And a seriously injured predator is a dead predator. The math always converges on the same answer: a mixed strategy. Bluff first, fight only when you absolutely have to, and almost never fight someone who looks exactly like you. This is the most important line in that whole equation. Almost never fight someone who looks exactly like you, because fighting your mirror is the most dangerous game in nature. And this is where apex predators get genuinely strange. Because they didn't just evolve the instinct to avoid each other, they evolved the ability to read each other with terrifying accuracy. A male lion can tell from a rival's roar whether that rival is injured. Researchers at the University of Minnesota found that lions assess a rival's condition through the quality and frequency of its calls. A lion with a deep, sustained, low-frequency roar signals health, lung capacity, full strength. A lion with a shorter, higher call signals something is wrong: age, injury, poor condition, and the healthy lion responds differently depending on what it hears. This is essentially a biological lie detector. Every apex predator has evolved some version of it. Wolves assess rival howls for pack size and individual health. Crocodiles read posture and water displacement before any territorial interaction. Great white sharks have documented patterns of circling behavior at feeding sites that allow them to assess each other before engaging. The whole system is built around information, because perfect information means you never have to actually fight. But now we hit the part that almost nobody talks about: the rare exceptions. The times apex predators do fight, and what those moments reveal. Here's the truth: real apex predator fights do happen. Male lions fight other male lions when a coalition is taking over a pride. Wolves clash at territorial borders when resources collapse. Komodo dragons fight each other in mating season. But notice what all of those situations have in common. The stakes are existential. It's not about food. It's not about a random encounter. It's about reproduction rights, or survival of a whole family group, or the future of a genetic line. The calculation tips only when the cost of not fighting becomes higher than the cost of fighting. When losing without a fight means losing everything. And even then, even in those maximum stakes moments, the fight is almost never to the death. One combatant wins dominance. The other submits. And the submission is recognized instantly. The fight ends. Because even in victory, a dead rival is worth less than a retreating one. A retreating rival takes its genes and its knowledge of the territory and leaves. A dead rival's carcass just attracts scavengers. Nature has no use for total destruction. This is what separates apex predator conflict from the mindless violence most people imagine. It is surgical. It is calculated. It is, in the deepest possible sense, intelligent. And now we come to the part that changes everything. The part about you. Human beings spent hundreds of thousands of years living in exactly the conditions that produced these rules. Small groups, scarce resources, constant physical danger. And here is what anthropologists have confirmed across cultures on every continent. Traditional human societies show the same pattern. Elaborate ritual conflict before physical fighting. Display of strength, negotiation. Threat signals. And genuine violence reserved for moments of existential stakes. The same logic runs through you every single day. When you feel the urge to confront someone and then suddenly hesitate. When your voice gets louder in an argument, not because you're angry, but because you're signaling. When you find yourself sizing up a rival in a meeting, a locker room, a parking lot. You are not being irrational. You are running 10 million years of survival code. Your body is trying to win without fighting, because your body knows, even if your conscious mind forgot, that winning through a fight is the most dangerous kind of winning there is. The apex predators never forgot that. They built entire communication systems around it: roars, scent marks, postures, displays, not to start wars, to prevent them. And maybe the most humbling thought of all is this: the lion that walks away from a fight it could probably win is not showing weakness. It is showing the highest form of intelligence that evolution ever produced. The ability to calculate that walking away today means surviving to fight for something that actually matters. We have that same ability. The question is whether we remember to use it.